Now that it's going to turn out to be a year until we, looking back off that reveal, that we'll have gotten to see more from that game. And I don't count those little trailer look vid doc stuff or Todd talking on a podcast. Yeah. I don't count all that. I'm talking about a genuine another reveal look. But considering we're at that point, I don't really have I'm sure they're going to show something at this showcase to get me excited about that game. But even, I guess what I'm trying to say is even now, that's a game I want to be excited for, but I don't have enough sort of to chew on to sort of be excited for that. And so it just kind of sucks that Redfall could have easily, even though I was expecting that game to not do well. It could have given me enough hope to look at just the conversation we're in now. All this, it feels so doom and gloom for Xbox. And Redfall is sort of the game that made it, it fell flat on its face, and it's making Xbox look like they're caught with their pants down right now. And it's making, even though there might be banger in the future, it's hard for people to see because we just don't know, and we have to wait. Even though it's a month, we have to wait for a showcase, and even then, what's in the showcase? And it's just, is Starfield even going to come out this year? They asked Phil, I'll say this last thing, dude, so you can take over, but they asked Phil in there, will we have a clear answer about whether or not Starfield is going to be 30 or 60 frames per second, and Phil said yes. I'm personally expecting 30. It's a Bethesda title.
Yep.
But I'm just thinking, from the impression I get, most people don't agree with me. A lot of people think that game as is looks amazing. But what if that game just what if Starfield isn't even a 10 out of 10, a 9 out of 10, an 8 out of 10? What if it's a 7 or lower? What's that conversation look like?
Well, it could be. This is kind of what I want to touch on, because I'm with Josh in the sense that my excitement for Starfield, any excitement I have is built on my love for Elder Scrolls and Fallout in the past.
Yep.
As far as what I've seen from Starfield, I don't think there's anything they've actually shown that warrants excitement. They've announced what the game is, that there'll be 1,000 planets. They've shown the name of the game. They showed us a little gameplay that looked really choppy. There's nothing there that really warrants hype. But knowing what this studio, who the studio is, what they've made, that itself does warrant hype. And I think that me and Josh have been downplaying Starfield more than anything because we're just not super on that hype level for it. But I do think there's the other element of the conversation. Now, Josh said, obviously Starfield could be where Bethesda really takes an L. This could be a 7 out of 10 for them, which is just going to spell a bazillion more problems for Xbox, because right now it seems like, to most people it seems like, oh, Xbox is bleak as hell, but at least we got Starfield. That'll be a banger.
Right.
If it's not, especially when we have no release dates or real gameplay footage for anything of significance right now, if Starfield's bad, it literally it's going to feel like there's no reason, period,
there's no hope
to be on Xbox. It's going to seem like no hope. But I will say, Morrowind and Oblivion and Skyrim and Fallout 3 and 4, these are some of the best games in the industry. These are games that top the very highest echelons of Josh and I's favorite games lists, Oblivion, Skyrim, stuff like that.
Absolutely.
So there's also absolutely a reason to be real excited for Starfield, because, Skyrim's still a huge game now, and it's, what is it? It's 11, 12, 13 years old. Is that right?
Yeah.
13?
That's insane.
No, it's 12 years old. 12 years
Math.
old. Yeah.
But close enough.
12 years old, and the game is still, Skyrim's another game that gets brought up just like...
It's a generational game.
It's a generational game, right? So it's huge. Fallout 4, not as much, but Fallout 4 is still a great game. It's still a game people love. A game I like, Josh likes a lot.
Didn't make people like that franchise any less, that's for damn sure.
No, it didn't. So this is a behemoth of a studio.
Sure.
And even though it's a new IP, we all know what they're doing, and Todd Howard's pretty much said as much. When you get a Bethesda game, you get the same game with a different style, right? Fallout, there's a lot of difference between Fallout and Elder Scrolls, but at the same time, you're getting the same type of game, but one's in a certain setting with guns, and the other one's in a different setting with swords and magic. Right. You know what this is. You're getting a Fallout, Elder Scrolls type of game set in space, with you building your own spaceship and traveling to planets. They've also talked about how Starfield and Elder Scrolls 6 are games that they couldn't have developed for the Xbox One PS4 generation because the technology wasn't there yet. There is absolutely everything there for this to be a gigantic game, a generational game, a game that... Because they said they want this... They said they built Starfield knowing how people played Skyrim for over a decade and wanting to build this game in such a way that it could more easily do that, be playable for decade or decades on. So, I mean, there's plenty of reasons.
We probably don't see Starfield 2 in our lifetime. I'm joking, but it's going to be a long way off.
We're dead. Starfield 2, we're dead. But Starfield, there's absolutely a reason to be hyped for this game. And if this game lands... I know, like, we've talked about the whole, like, Phil said, 11 out of 10 is not enough to turn Xbox around. That's true. But if this game's a 9 out of 10 or a 10, and it's more or less like, you know, I'm not saying the exact same, but if it's more or less like Skyrim quality, this is huge. And this could be a great turnaround for Xbox. And I would be excited. Like, you know, if I liked Starfield as much as Skyrim, then to me personally, just Brian, that game's bigger than Ragnarok. That game's bigger than Horizon.
Yeah.
That game's bigger than Spider-Man 2 for me. If it's as good as Skyrim, which that's no light, that's a major feat to be as good as Skyrim. But if you are, I mean, Xbox just got itself a killer thing that it's gonna suck to be. If it's Skyrim level, dude, you don't want to be on PS5 only and not be able to play that.
It's going to be interesting to see the conversation, because if it is really, really good, as much as we all hope it is, you know, you are going to, and I'm not poo-pooing on it, but you are going to see the people out there that's like, Xbox, you know, they're going to be like Vin Diesel and Fast and the Furious, where they just sort of like stick their arms out wide, like, come on, bring it, you know, but like, I don't think that's going to, you know, I don't think one banger, no matter how big, necessarily,
because the hype fades down. It fades off, right? Like, but we saw Elden Ring hype. Elden Ring doesn't get talked about near as much now as it did at the beginning of last year.
No.
Like, Starfield, if it's not Skyrim, even if it is Skyrim level, I mean, there's going to be a sense that come March of next year, people are going, what's the new game? You know? I want to play the next new thing.
Yeah. So. And I mean, it goes without saying, like, I mean, it has a whole new meaning of, like, anticipation than just it's the next in line from the guys at Bethesda. Like, I mean, this is Xbox's biggest AAA thing that, like, they've ever seen, honestly, outside of Halo and Gears, and I would put it above Gears personally, just because of the DNA of Bethesda and what people know to expect.
It's bigger than Gears.
Yeah. And if someone said even Halo,
honestly,
it's debatable.
Elder Scrolls is bigger than Halo.
Yeah. So I can see that argument. So it has a lot a positive baggage that comes with it. But I think for me, guys, and I think you're probably the same way too, Brian, but like, I feel like there is this conversation to be had where I get excited for this game. I get hyped out of my goddamn mind. But the problem is just like, you know, like, guys, if you like, they just didn't really show anything, like, narratively speaking. Like, they didn't get to show an actual, like, proper, like, quest type of thing. It was like, here's a combat scenario, here's a sort of quick little timely, like, highlight reel of, like, people talking, and that's it. Like, when I remember back to the Fallout 4 one, it was your vault dude traveling with dog meat, and he kind of like goes around and some stuff happens, and then they kind of forward it. It was a good like 20-minute thing that felt very consistent and had a lot of like meat to it, and I just feel like I didn't get that with this. It was a whole lot of like this, like, here's what it clearly showed me. This game is a whole lot of different things. Did you like Hearthfire DLC in Skyrim? You're gonna love this. Did you like building and collecting lots of random shit so you could like build up like bases and stuff in Fallout 4? We got you covered. Here's all these
like No Man's
thousands
Sky?
of planet. Yeah, you like No Man's Sky? Here's all this stuff we got in there for you. What I am there for is the core Elder Scrolls stuff. And I don't hate that other stuff, but I feel like they try, like, in sort of, best way I can put it to not dog on them is like in sort of trying to almost appeal to everyone with what they showed last year. It felt like they kind of directly appealed to no one, because I didn't feel like I got a really good idea of what this game is. I got a big idea of the scope, but I just didn't see much. So, I mean, I honestly think that I could see something that turns me around and Starfield suddenly becomes my most anticipated. Right now, like, it's Baldur's Gate 3. Prior, you know, Jedi Survivor, but, like, those are my games. Brian was Tears of the Kingdom. I mean, that's huge for him. But I could see a conversation where Starfield enters that, but I just have nothing to go off on.